All right, we'll call to order the regular meeting of October 1st, 2019. Invocation will be given by myself. Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for this day. Help us to use good judgment for the business at hand and guide us in wisdom with a continuing sense of truth and fairness for the community we represent. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Julie, call the roll.
Mr. Krieger?
Here.
Mr. Landig?
Here.
Mr. Barnes?
Here.
Mr. Blake?
Here.
Mr. Donovan?
Here.
Mrs. Dowling? Here. Mr. Kirchner?
Here.
We have the approval of the minutes for the work session, September 17th, 2019, and the regular meeting of September 17th, 2019.
Approve the work session.
Second. Julie, call the roll.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Landig?
Yes.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling? Yes. Mr. Kirchner?
Yes. Move to approve the regular meeting.
Second. Julie, call the roll.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Landig?
Yes.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling? Yes. Mr. Kirchner?
Yes.
Public hearings, we have none. Table legislation, we have none. New legislation, ordinance number 19-0-071.
An ordinance to authorize advances of funds and revisions to appropriations and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Filipiak.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Malinowski, please.
Thank you, Mr. Filipiak. Members of council, this ordinance does two main things. Firstly, it authorizes a $1 million temporary cash advance out of the city's general fund to the street lighting fund. This fund, this money is for the Old Village Lighting Phase 2 project, the necessary amount of cash needed in that fund on subsequent ordinances that you'll see. And then secondly, it increases three funds, the appropriations that are necessary to accomplish both the street lighting fund project, a small $34,000 sanitary fee to the Springbrook Park, and then a police grant known as Stone Garden. And I would recommend approval. Thank you.
Move to suspend.
Second. Julie, call the roll.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Landig?
Yes.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling? Yes. Mr. Kirchner?
Yes. Move to approve.
Second. Julie, call the roll.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Landig?
Yes.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling? Yes. Mr. Kirchner?
Yes.
Ordinance number 19-0-071 has passed. Ordinance number 19-0-072.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Param Electric, Inc. for the Old Village Lighting Project Phase 2.
Mr. Filipiak.
Thank you, Mr. President. And as council is aware, this is the second and final phase of the Old Village Lighting Project. This will do 66 decorative lights. Mr. Schweiker, please.
Thank you. Bids were opened recently for the installation portion of the Old Village Lighting Project, which is Phase 2. This work primarily entails the installation of light poles, foundations, installing the light poles, and providing the underground electrical connections. Approximately 66 lights will be installed along Menor Avenue between 615 and Little Mountain, and along 615 between Menor Avenue and Station Street. 3 bids were received for this work, with Param Electric submitting a low bid of $1,308,308. Param was the contractor on Phase 1 of this project and did a very nice job. It is my recommendation that they be awarded this contract for Phase 2. Thank you.
Council?
Move to suspend.
Second.
President, just a
Yes.
couple of things I want to bring to council's attention on this. There were some limitations on height because of the existing wires on Menor Avenue, so you're going to see a little variation in the second phase. Do you want to speak to that, Mr. Schweikert?
Yes, I think it's in your packet, but there's some cut sheets for the two lights. The one type is similar to what we have now, which is the single head on an arm, and then the other will be a shorter pole with shorter arm and 2 lights on it. And that will become the style we're using on Menor Avenue, and that's due largely to the constraints of a lot more underground utilities that we got to work around, as well as more overhead lines, which have prevented some challenges that we didn't really face in Phase 1. So basically what we'll see when it's all said and done is the Menor Avenue will be the shorter decorative lights with the two-armed two lights, and 615 will be, kind of what we have out there now along 615, the taller pole with the single arm and light. But all in the same style of light.
So to maintain consistency, you'll actually see some of the taller, single-arm poles that exist on Menor Avenue be moved to 615 and replaced with the slightly shorter but two-armed poles. So they're the same style. It'll be relatively seamless. The second thing that I want to mention to you is just a reminder that in totality, these two phases come up to about $3 million, half of which is being funded through our TIF funds, the other half through the street lighting fund. And the finance director and I discussed this, and we don't feel that over the term that we've placed this repayment schedule on, that we'll likely see any additional increase necessary as a result of either of these phases to the street lighting fee that gets passed on to residents and businesses. So that's a positive.
Mr. President,
Yes. Oh, Ms. Blake.
are two lights necessary because the pole's shorter?
Yes. We preferred that to more poles and more expense.
Right.
And actually, they are coming up with a unique design to meet our needs there, right, Mr. Schweikert? We wanted it to be, those arms that come off of both sides of that to be identical to the single-arm taller ones that we see the rest of the city.
We're also, with the poles, we're also adding it's a type of pole that will accommodate arms both for banners and for plants, if that's something we want to do in the future, if we want to do seasonal banners, that sort of thing.
We're also looking at the cost of what it would take to install outlets on those poles if we were to want to do some maybe decorative holiday lighting down the road.
Okay, nice.
Julie, call the roll.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Landing?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
yes,
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes, move to approve.
Second.
Julie, call the roll.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Landing?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
yes,
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes.
Ordinance number 19-0-072 is passed. Ordinance number 19-0-073.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Pepco for the purchase of street lighting poles, street light poles, arms, lighting fixtures, and related appurtenances related to the Old Village Lighting Project Phase 2.
Mr. Flippia.
Thank you, Mr. President. This would be the hardware. Mr. Schweikert?
Thank you. Bids were open on 13 September for the materials to be used for the implementation of Old Village Lighting Project Phase 2. This includes primarily the light fixtures, poles, and arms to be installed as part of the project. Some of these poles and arms will be identical to the poles and arms that were used in Phase 1, while others will be the shorter pole with the dual arms, as we've discussed. The bid also requested pricing for banner arms and hanging plant holders. Phase 2 of this project will extend the decorative lighting, again, Menor Avenue to Little Mountain, and 615 from Menor Avenue to Station Street. Low bid was submitted by professional electrical product company Pepco with a price of $490,064.94. Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Mr. Schweikert, does that include the outlets for the lightings if we wanted to do Christmas lighting or anything? How would we infiltrate?
It includes outlets that will go on when the lights come on.
Okay.
So, yes, in the evening, we could put lights on.
Thank you.
Council, anything else?
Move to suspend.
Second.
Julie, call the roll.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Landing?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
yes,
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes, move to approve.
Second.
Julie, call the roll.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Landing?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
yes,
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes.
Ordinance number 19-0-073 is passed. Ordinance number 19-0-074.
An ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of a community reinvestment area agreement with Carver Asset Management, Inc.
Mr. Filipiak.
Thank you, Mr. President. And we have another successful Mentor company taking advantage of our Old Village CRA. Mr. Belichick.
Thank you, Mr. Filipiak. Carver Asset Management is located in the Old Village Community Reinvestment Area District, and this expansion that they are embarking upon will add offices, conference rooms, public space, create 6 new full-time jobs and 2 new part-time jobs. They are applying for the CRA guidelines in the Old Village, which will allow them a 50% real property tax exemption for a term of 10 years.
Move to suspend?
Second.
Julie, call the roll.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Landig?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake? Yes. Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes. Move to approve?
Second.
Julie, call the roll.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Landig?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Ordinance number 19-0-074 has passed. Second reading, ordinance number 19-0-068.
An ordinance amending the codified ordinances of the City of Mentor 2006 as amended and the official zoning map by rezoning of approximately 16.15 acres of land from R4 Single Family Residential District to RVG Village Green District for 40 residential lots in the proposed Echo Hill Manor subdivision at 8180 and 8188 Garfield Road.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I'd like to move this to third reading.
Second?
Julie, call the roll.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Landig?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Ordinance number 19-0-068 has been moved to third reading. Third reading tonight, none. Now, favorite spot, manager's report.
Thank you, Council. Just a reminder to the public that the cap on the city's yard waste program will increase from 12 units to 25 units, starting with the week of October 21st, and will run through the second full week of December. The police department will be participating in the National Walk to School Day. Officers will walk with students to Fairfax, Sterling Morton, Hopkins, and Lake Elementary Schools on Wednesday, October 2nd, and to Orchard Hollow on Monday, October 7th. This is an opportunity for our officers and police administration to promote the healthy benefits of regularly walking or biking to school. Fire Prevention Week runs from October 6th through the 12th. This year's theme announced by the National Fire Protection Association is, quote, "Not every hero wears a cape. Plan and practice your escape." That was a rhyme. The Mentor Fire Department will be working to reinforce this year's safety theme as we partner with the Mentor Firefighters Historical Society to host the annual third grade visits to Mentor Safety Village. This program runs through the month of October from the 2nd through the 25th, and we expect nearly 800 third graders to attend this year. Approximately 4,575 administrative subpoenas are being mailed by RETA today to taxpayers that neglected to file a municipal income tax return for tax years 2013 through 2017. All of the taxpayers that will receive the subpoenas were first issued a non-filing notice and were given an opportunity to respond before a subpoena was issued. About 2,000 taxpayers responded to the non-filing letters. We will continue to assist recipients of subpoenas through the on-site office, supplemented with additional in-house staff during October and November. And our experience, Mr. Malinowski, can you comment on last year's experience with this, which was our first year of participating in the program?
Certainly. The program included about 8,000 non-filing letters. It's down about close to 2,000 letters. The response was similar. We had about a 30% response to those letters up until the point where it becomes an administrative subpoena. From this point on, the verdict is still out, but the law department tends to get involved if we still have a non-response. I think we generated somewhere in the neighborhood of about 400,000 of actual revenue and identified another similar amount that approaches a $900,000 amount. So there's just a lot of, unfortunately, non-filers that are still out there, and we're not unique to Northeast Ohio by any ways, but this is the best mechanism that we have available in the toolbox to try to bring the non-filers into compliance. So it's not a harsh way of going about it, but it attempts to bring them into compliance. So the verdict's out.
And I think we are the only community that has done this on their own, where we let Rita send the subpoenas out, but we actually supplement the review of each case with our own staff, and that saves us
Approximately $7 on every subpoena that goes out. We are probably one of the largest communities. There are a few other Ohio communities that participate in the reduced cost subpoena program, if you want to call it that. But we are charged $1 per subpoena that goes out. So we're going to get a bill for a little over about $5,000.
would otherwise be $8 if we just left it up to Rita, which is common practice for most Rita northeast Ohio communities. So great job by Dave's staff on that. The city is currently advertising for bids for painting, fence replacement, installation of the City of Mentor name and seal on the State Route 306 bridge over State Route 2. Bids will be received until noon on Friday, this Friday, October 4th, and will be opened immediately thereafter. Completion date of June 26, 2020 is set for the work. And we will be, just a reminder to the public, winter golf rates at Blackbrook Park started today, October 1st, and construction has started for the new playground equipment at Garfield Park. That's all.
Thank you. Clerk's correspondence.
Council is in receipt of the Mentor Municipal Court August 2019 month-end report, and also a liquor permit for a change of stock ownership for Junction 615 Inc., DBA Petticoat Junction. That's it.
Commission committee reports. Council's in receipt of the meeting minutes for the Community Arts Commission for July 3rd, 2019, and August 1st, 2019, and also the Municipal Planning Commission for August 22nd, 2019. Old business, we have none. New business, we have none. Persons before council, none.
Move to adjourn.
So moved.
Oh, well, you guys flipped on me there.
John, let me ask you.